Hey everybody, what's up y'all? Welcome back to my channel, TammyTalks here. I know I'm late, but super busy, super crazy past couple of days. We're gonna still talk growing up hip hop. So this is Growing Up Hip Hop Season 6, Episode 31. Let's elope now. If you're brand new to my channel, I do breakdowns of various TV shows, both scripted and reality, interjecting my own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each and every recap. So if you enjoy that type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel, thumbsing up the video if you enjoy this particular piece of content, and then hop into the comment section, y'all. There's, I guess, something we can talk about involving growing up hip hop. So I'll be glad when the season is over. Next week, I believe, is the finale. It's been very lackluster. We spent way too much time on Tahira and Sean's wedding. We have barely seen a lot of different cast members. We have barely seen, we don't see anything about the Simmons kids' lives, aside from JoJo interjecting about his marriage, but we don't get enough of, like, Angela's life. We don't get enough of Vanessa's life. It's almost kind of pointless to have the Simmons kids on here. At this point, it's pointless to have a lot of these people on here. It's too many people. We're not getting enough, like, actual storyline from each and every one of them. It's like everybody gets, like, an episode kind of dedicated to them, about them, and then we move on, and there's no, like, real resolution. So let's go ahead and talk about y'all. So this episode starts off with Vanessa and Angela, and they're in the car headed to a doctor's appointment because Angela wants to discuss freezing her eggs with the doctor. Her son, SJ, has been asking for, like, a sibling. She said that she wants to be married by the next time she does have a kid. So she doesn't know when that's going to happen. She wants to, make sure that she has viable eggs when that time does come. Or if, she decides to just go ahead and have a baby by herself. So Vanessa asks her if she is truly putting herself out there to really find somebody. And Angela said, well, what more can I do? Vanessa said, girl, I don't know. I'm not around you every day. Y'all don't hang out ever. And, like, I really like Vanessa, but it's also like, Vanessa, girl, you got to find some type of storyline. Your storyline cannot always involve, like, trying to micromanage and big sister Angela to death. You know what I mean? She has to find some other type of storyline that's going to really help her. So Vanessa said that their mom has tried to help Angela out, and she has, like, tried to set her up with a couple people. Angela said that those people did not understand her. Okay, so Angela thinks that she is midlife. She says she's going through, like, midlife crisis. Vanessa would say, well, at my age, Vanessa, girl, you were what, 38, 39? Vanessa was acting like we can't Google her name. Like, Google her age. She did not want to say her age. Angela, you're not midlife. You're probably just very picky. That's all that is. So we have Sam in the studio. I think it is crazy how the cast has not wanted to film with Sam in Egypt, aside from Eric, and occasionally we'll see Boogie film with them, but no one is filming with them. That's very telling to y'all. Like, it puts a damper on a show when so many people don't want to film together. You know what I mean? So Lacey shows up. Sam said that he has been behind Egypt's music. He's been writing, producing, doing other smart things for other people. And he said that he can't help but feel like the crowd that everyone else is getting really belongs to him. So what I heard is Sam saying, yeah, I'm putting Egypt into the spot that I should be having. I should be having all this fame. I should be having the crowd rocking and all this other stuff. So he's kind of starting to feel a way about it. He said he's not concerned about the case because he knows what he did. He said the Lord knows what he did and the justice system will figure it out. Lacey, however, feels that Sam needs to be a little more worried about this situation. You know what I mean? Facing that many years in jail, I think it was like 10 to 15 years, facing that amount of time, that's a big deal. That's nothing to take lightly. And it's kind of weird, the nonchalantness that Sam is even facing, or that Sam even has about it. It has caused a lot of people to wonder if this is all storyline because they had nothing else to talk about on this cast. So it does definitely make you wonder. So Egypt shows up. and her hair looks like shit. I'm sorry, but Egypt's hair looks worse and worse every episode. If you want to have a little low frohawk cut, whatever you got going, girl, that is perfectly fine. But it needs moisture. I feel like it looks like it needs some fruit and berries. It needs some juice and berries, some nectars or something, because her hair looks terrible every single episode. Why did she have to cut her hair like that? Whose idea was that? Well, we know it was Sam's, but whose idea was it to be that particular style? It looks bad. I'm sorry, but Egypt's hair looks bad. So Sam tells her that if worse comes to worse, that he wants her to know that they just won't be a thing anymore. He doesn't want her to sit and pine for him. He wants her to focus on getting her album done and getting her music videos completed. And I'm sorry, but that's gaslighting and it's manipulation. You know damn well by you constantly telling her that it's really you saying, don't leave me, I want you to stay, I want you to hold me down. But you're saying it in a way so that when she does do that, I didn't tell her to. Like, you're not fooling anybody, Sam. Egypt says she is willing to wait for him because she loves him. Sam said that loving someone is knowing that they might be better off without you. We then get Angela at the doctor. Basically, she's fertile. Okay, she's ready to have kids. If she were to get the right concoction going, boom, she'll have some babies. And then for her to do like IVF or that type of procedure is $9K to $15K, or not to do the IVF, but to harvest them eggs, $9K to $15K. Angela was acting like she don't have it. Angela, girl, you were worth a couple million. You can go ahead and go ahead and pay for that, but let's play it up for TV that Angela might not be able to afford $9,000. So then we have this misplaced scene between Cree and Savannah. I'm going to assume that this scene was shot a while ago and they are just now inputting it in because we have not seen Cree or Savannah. So I'm wondering if, they have a certain number of episodes that they need to pay them for. So they are inserting this old scene. But it's basically Savannah, doesn't have a corkscrew at her house, but she has wine. She says she's used to drinking twist tops. I'm not going to judge her. She's young. Whatever. Cree says that she wants to keep it real with her, and while she will support her in public, she's going to definitely call her out in private. Part of calling her out in private is her saying that she was wilding with Sequoia at Twist Party. Savannah says she does not care. She said the way that she lives her life works perfectly fine for her. Cree feels that Savannah needs to learn to control her anger, to navigate her anger into a more centralized place because, it put Cree into a situation where she was out there fighting. No, ma'am, Savannah did not put you, Cree, into a situation where you had to fight. You put yourself into that situation. You chose to insert yourself in that beef to kind of, I guess, show your allegiance to the Simmons kids. You felt that you had to go in and have Tanisha's back. Cool. At this party, Cree, everything that you did is a direct result of you. You felt triggered because that girl said, once you are a mother. Once you are a mother. She didn't say you can't have kids. She didn't say you will never be a mother. She said, once you are a mother, you will understand that you don't want people to talk about your kids. That's a real ass statement. That's a real ass statement. I am not a mother. So I have friends that are mothers. So if they were to say, well, Tam, you don't understand because, once I became a mother or as a mother, stuff like that doesn't bother me. And it really shouldn't bother you, Cree, but you feel away. You caused yourself to get all riled up and to start fighting that girl. You have no one to blame but yourself that you behaved that way like a fool on TV. That is nobody's fault but yours, Cree. And then Savannah said that she will go and talk to her therapist who she's been going to. Savannah, girl, bye. Cree has seemingly, I don't know if she quit the show, but she was on Twitter and she was saying that if they want her to still be involved in drama, she's not going to be involved on the show anymore. But if they want to show her working on business, she's event planner. I don't want to say party promoter. She's an event planner. She has Slip Aside Records. She says she's very philanthropic. So if they want to show that part of her life, then she is all for being on the show. But it's like they can only show what you give them, Cree. Cree has had ample opportunities to talk about all these different things she is doing. But whenever Cree is on TV, Cree chooses to talk about other people. Cree chooses to insert herself into other things. When y'all had that dinner, beginning of the season, where it was the three Simmons girls, and Tahira there, you chose to come in and make that a moment with Tahira when you could have just as easily started talking to them about what other business ventures and stuff you had going. So I get that editing does get people sometimes, but people have to start taking some accountability for the fact that the cameras can only show what you allow them to. They can only post the footage that you have given them. That's just how it goes. So then we have Vanessa and Tahira on FaceTime. Vanessa, I am so sick of seeing Vanessa scenes on FaceTime. Why can't you film at your house? Why can't we know more about this Wayans boy that is your baby daddy? Vanessa has to get a storyline, y'all. Vanessa has to get a storyline. Vanessa was just on tour, on the Broadway tour of Set It Off. I think she played Frankie. Why didn't we see that? Why didn't we see you at least talking about being on it? Why didn't we see you going to rehearsal or there's so much more that y'all can be doing with this show. And for Angela to be the EP, it is weird that she is even allowing so much of this drama to be shown and nothing actually real. Growing up hip hop, we see very little hip hop. We see very little music on the show. We see very little work being done on the show. So they talk about the wedding. Vanessa hates that she wasn't there, but she did have a tour date. Tahira said that she's just kind of over the drama. Egypt texted her saying that she forgives her. And TT said, oh yeah? Well, I forgive you too, I guess. What is she forgiving me for? Vanessa said to hear TT out. If she's reaching out, it might be because she really needs you right now. You know, Tahira was like a big sister to Egypt. So if she's reaching out after all this time, there's a reason she needs you more than she is willing to admit or that she wants to admit at all. Hear her out. If you've moved past it, clear the air, and then we can move forward with it because we do not want another season of hearing about the Denton family drama. We just don't. So then we have Angela talking to a friend of hers about dating and having kids. Angela said that SJ has been talking about wanting siblings and a father figure. You know, it's unfortunate that SJ's father did pass away the way I believe he was murdered. So it's unfortunate that happened. But I also feel like, Angela, you also kind of moved away. His father figure in the time being could have been your father. You have 3 brothers. Yes, you have 3 brothers. Like, y'all don't have any cousins. You have uncles. So it's kind of weird for you to say that SJ does not have a father figure that could be in his life when you have chosen to move out of New York, to move out of LA, where you did have different, family units that could have helped. Now, you said you moved down to Atlanta to be closer to Sutton's family. Is no one in his family stepping up to be a father figure to the little boy? A little confused about that. But she said she doesn't know if she wants to have kids past 36 years old. And she said it's hard to meet people when traveling because everybody has a mask on. So the only time that she'll meet people is when she's at an industry event or if it's something that she is hosting or working. And I get the feeling Angela probably does not want to date somebody that's in the industry per se. So we get Tahira going over to Egypt's house. Egypt tells her congratulations for the nuptials. And Egypt kept making little slide remarks like, since I wasn't there. Girl, no, you weren't. You weren't invited. Get over it. You can see the wedding on TV like we just saw it. And then she starts asking about how it's late. She's like, because I haven't met him. Tahira said, yeah, he's great. You haven't met him because I'm not going to bring negativity into his life. I guess it's kind of weird how Egypt feels like I should have been invited to the wedding. I should meet your child. Meanwhile, me and my boyfriend, or me and my fiance, are talking cash shit about you every chance that we get. We brought on another family member to try to embarrass you and expose the fact that your boyfriend cheated on you or whatever the case we have going on. So I guess I'm confused as to why Egypt is confused as to why she has not been allowed to come to any of this stuff or why she wasn't invited. Girl, what did you expect? All right, Egypt. So Egypt wants to get back to where they originally were. And I just kind of feel like y'all will never be back to where y'all were. Too much time has passed. Too much damage has been done on both sides. And let's be real. Tahira is not innocent in a lot of this by any means. So Egypt says she felt betrayed. We remember Tahira tried to ruin Egypt's engagement. But that was also a result of Sam telling you that that's also a direct result of Sam telling Egypt that Tahira was coming on to him, that she liked him. Like, he put all this stuff in her head, and then you blindly believed him. You and Pep blindly believed this man over your own cousin, over your own flesh and blood. You believed him, maybe not flesh, over your own blood. Like, you didn't even give her the benefit of the doubt. So Egypt has to take some accountability. She has to take accountability. She thinks that everything that has happened has been Tahira's fault, and that's not true. Egypt loves to say how she is a grown-ass woman. I'm an adult. I'm a grown woman. But you know what grown-ups do? Grown-ups take accountability when they have messed up, when they have done wrong. That's what being an adult is. That's part of being an adult. If you can't do that, I don't know what to tell you, but you can't expect people to just kind of look past the stuff that you have done. That's just not how that works. So Tahira says she's willing to try to move forward with her, but it's going to take some time. Egypt says she doesn't hold anything in her heart, and she's basically trying to force TT to make up with her right away. And it's kind of weird how she was doing it. I get that you want to move on, but you have to give her some time. And while Egypt is like trying to force TT to be like, yay, we're cousins, and like, you know, hug it out real quick, she starts talking about how Sam hasn't wronged her in any way. Yes, he has. Yes, he has. The fact that Sam was going around telling people that TT was coming on to him, that TT wanted him, only for him to admit, like last season, that he really didn't believe that at all, and she never did anything to make him believe that. So it's kind of weird how Egypt has seen this stuff. Egypt knows this, but she is still not wanting to hold Sam accountable. It is very weird. Egypt is suffering from like Stockholm syndrome or something like that. It has to be. So she also feels that Tahira is the one that has turned everybody against Sam. TT said that's absolutely not true. It's his interactions with people. It's the way that he's moving with people that has made them form their own decisions and their own opinions on Sam. And I agree. There is the people on this cast that do not see it for Sam. It has nothing to do with TT. It honestly has nothing to do with TT. So TT said ultimately she blames Pep for how she handled the situation, for basically enabling Egypt to continue with this fuck shit mentality of thinking the way that she was coming at TT. Egypt agrees and was like, yeah, it is my mom's fault. It is yours. You were just saying, like, not even 5 minutes ago in this conversation, you told TT that she can be as open and honest with you as she wants to be because you are an adult and you can handle it. So if you are this adult that you claim to be, why is it that your mom is responsible for your now strained relationship with your cousin that is a derivative of how your stupid ass fiance has been acting? Stop it, Egypt. Stop it. So Egypt said that Sam would just have to be around and Tahira will have to deal with it. If she don't want to talk to him, she don't want to talk to him. I don't know why you want to try to force a relationship between the two of them. If the two of them have a mutual understanding that we are just going to coexist because we're family, then that's what it is. But they're not going to be kicking it. You guys are not going to have little cousin sleepovers and stuff like that and parties. That's just not going to happen anymore. So finally, we have Egypt. She goes back to Sam. His cousin is there randomly. And they're talking about how it went with TT. Sam's first questions are, who got upset first? Who got more upset? How mad did she look when you were talking to her? And see, Sam does this stuff and he hypes up Egypt. So Egypt then says, I had to drag conversation out of her. And like she makes it seem like TT has no reason to feel the way that she does. This is just yet like the 10th hundred. That's not a real word. 10,000th time. It's been a long day. 10,000th time that we have seen Sam kind of like light a fire under Egypt to get her motor going, to try to really make sure that he stays on her side. And he really wants to keep a distance between TT and Egypt. That's really what Sam wants to do. So his cousin asks, why are they beefing? Girl, you know, you've been watching the show. You know exactly why they're beefing. And Egypt conveniently left out how Sam lied and said that TT was coming on to him and liked him, and said that Tahira, well, Egypt believed that it's because she's the baby of the family and they were just being overprotective. Whatever, Egypt. You know what the real reason is. And cousin, I think it was Mariah, girl, you know what the real reason is, because you've been watching the show just like the rest of us. So Sam tells her his case has been pushed back. The lawyer needs more time. Who's paying for this lawyer? Egypt tells him she wants to elope. She can't wait any longer to get married. Sam asks if she is proposing. She reminds him, we are engaged already. He said this feels like a proposal. That is not a proposal. But all right, Sam. So Egypt feels that Pep did not do anything to prevent the situation from spiraling. I am mystified. Truly mystified at the fact that Egypt is really, really like blaming her mom for all of this. She's taking no accountability for anything that has happened. That is baffling to me. Truly, truly baffling. But all right, girl. Sam doesn't really seem the happiest to rush to get married. He said he wants to do it right. He's nervous to kind of talk to Tretch, but feels like he has to talk to Tretch about it again. Egypt, however, doesn't want to even involve her parents. She wants to just go get married right away. We see next episode that Egypt and Sam drive on over to a wedding chapel because they're in Vegas. And it looks like Tretch is all for it. Pep is not the happiest. And I guess we find out that Egypt's pregnant. I think she is pregnant. But I guess we find out what's going to happen next episode. But Pep comes in and crashes the wedding. But we saw the wedding pictures that were sold to People magazine. So that's it. Let me know how you guys felt about this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.